Now we can see what they did with that sweet the letter money. At least I can see they put the $40 they made off that game to good use. Journey of the Special Average Balloon, or Eshop for short. Now, like I mentioned before, this is the developer who made the craptacular title, The Letter, which I actually ended up doing 2 full reviews on. And I'd like to say this title is a major improvement over that game, as it is actually a game. Yeah! Good job with checking off that box, Treefall. The whole idea behind this game is that you're a balloon and you have to avoid the obstacles and enemies around you to find a rainbow shard. Now, believe it or not, there's actually a story to this game. Apparently there was the Helium Kingdom. A kingdom full of helium. Some balloons found some refuge there. But by the way, I'd like to know the story behind that refuge. What, were they being persecuted because they were balloons? They're like, you're not the silver balloons, you're regular balloons. And then all of a sudden an evil force came. The evil force decided to fight the rainbow and he was left very weak. But he was really pissed because he had to leave in a hurry and he made sure there were birds out that would stop anyone from saving the rainbow. There was one special balloon who decided to save the world. Wouldn't it be simpler just to say, there was once a rainbow that broke up into many pieces, and we were tasked with the journey of finding all the pieces and putting it back together? I mean, it makes as much sense because, you know, they say there's an evil one who's trying to stop you. So you would think at the very end there would be like a boss fight where you have to finally take down the evil one and save the rainbow forever. No, game just ends. It seemed like they overcomplicated the story for no reason. It kind of reminded me of The Letter, actually. The controls are fine, I guess. They do feel a little stiff, but since I don't know how a balloon is supposed to control, I'd say it's pretty dead on. There are over 20 levels to play and replay. Now, the levels only consist of one screen, and it usually takes about 20 to 30 seconds to beat it. So that means you could probably beat the game in less than 30 minutes. However, there are goals you can try and do, which will unlock different skins for the balloons, so there is some replayability. The game, though, feels too simple. While the levels did get more difficult in each progressing level, they basically said instead of creating new challenges, let's just make the challenges faster or make more of them. I think the level designs were interesting. They did try to keep themes in the levels. In this archery field, where apparently people are crazy enough to shoot arrows up in the sky and have them come back down. It's super crazy, but I appreciate the idea of the level, that he's tried to keep a consistent flow. Like in the ice levels, there's snowbirds, and in the steady levels, there's crows, and I like that. You won't really have too much of an issue getting through half of the levels, which is disappointing, as the game is so short, and everything you really need to know about how to play the game you learn in the very first level. There should have been more challenge to the game, and not just faster projectiles. There is also an odd minigame where you have to play as the evil one, I assume, as you're murdering your balloon family and friends. It was an odd addition to have a slingshot game that's goal is to kill the very thing that you were trying to save. The controls in the minigame were just awful. The animation never makes it clear where the rock is heading. Every time it just looks like it's flying off into the sky. But I guess since the world is made of helium, I guess that makes sense. You have a timer to destroy all the balloons. The odd thing is that if you do cause the destruction of all your balloon friends, and if there's time left over, you have to wait until the timer's done in order for the game to end. It doesn't end when your goal is done, which is just strange. The same thing happens in the main game, but it really was only like a 1-second delay from when you collect the rainbow piece, from when you can move on to the next level. Because it was so slight, it really was not that big a deal, but it was an odd thing to have to deal with. There is also some multiplayer options. 2 of them to be exact. They had some odd control decisions though. One of the multiplayer games you needed to use the Wiimote, and the other one you needed to use the Pro Controller. Why? Who knows? It was really crazy that you couldn't just use one or the other. One of the multiplayer games was the game where you had to beat the levels together. If one person dies, you had to restart the whole level. I think these were special multiplayer levels as they were mostly the worst designs I've seen, as they were just having too crazy fast of enemies or projectiles. It was just too frustrating to have to play this with another person, as 2 people have to be lucky and perfect just to beat one level. The other multiplayer game was more fun. They have one player as the balloon and the other player as a spike. They will add more spikes that will spin around to the second player, and the goal is to have the first person to survive until the time limit is over. The journey of the special average balloon may not be as special as the balloon that you're controlling, but it's a good step in the right direction for this company. They're actually putting some thought into their games that they're making. But there were plenty of extras that they didn't have to do, like multiplayer and the new balloon skins to unlock. So like I said, there is some replayability in the game. Sure, the controls were a bit stiff and the game was really short, but I picked this up for, I believe it was 49 cents. And I would definitely say I got my money's worth. So if you can find it for that or as high as 99 cents, I say go for it. Well, that was my review of the Journey of the Special Average Balloon. Why don't you check out my previous review of Never Alone? Or, you know, I'm going to do this a little bit differently. Or you can check out my review of The Letter 1.0 or The Letter 2.0. Thank you guys for watching, and please subscribe.